so that I can see any comments. Whoops, what's going on? There we go. Okay, so if you are back and you are watching me, I have to come back because I figured it out, and I have to, you know, the whole point is, part of it is to show you how to do the math on it. So hang on a minute, I gotta put my volume down here. Okay, so we are back. So we did the box here. Now, for example, I'm going to stick with my block. If I want to make a box for my block, okay, because I want to take you through all the measurements so that if you have a shape that you want to create, I'm back again. I've got the math. I can't let it go. So if you do want to create your own box like this and you want to know how to do all the math for it, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to start by drawing my template, and then I'm going to go and put in my figures, and then I'm going to show you how to cut what size pieces that you need. Oh no! Well, this is my second live, so I'm hoping that my batteries keep going. So I want to show you how to know how to cut the sizes of the cards and where to put the score marks, because that's the whole point of learning how to create a box, isn't it? So I'm going to start with my drawing, which is the basic template is always going to be the same shape. It is just the measurements that are going to change. So I've got my new piece of paper, and it is not to scale, okay? So we're going to start, this is going to be our height. So I know that that is going to be 2.5 centimeters. Okay, so I'll do this down the bottom. 2.5 centimeters that way and that way. Now, let me just draw my basic shape, and then I'll go in and I will put in the measurements. So we know that we want a tab to go here. We want our flaps to go on the side. So one flap goes for the top of the box, one flap goes for the bottom of the box. We know from our shape that we want a nice tall square, and that is either going to be our base, but will be our base. Whoops, see, now I've mucked up here. My measurements aren't going to be right. And then we want 2 more flaps. So one will be the top, one will be the bottom. And then on this side, we need one that goes up like that. You can actually miter them if you want. And then this is the lid. And then we want the enclosure flap on there. Okay, so we know that this little bit here is going to be 1.5 centimeters, because that just seems to be a really nice size for these boxes. And then we are going to have 4.5 centimeters. I always like to make it just a little bit bigger so that you can get them in and out. So then we will have 4.5 centimeters. And then we are going to have, I'm going to make that 11.5 centimeters. 11.5. And then 4.5 again. And then 11.5 for this bit here. Okay, so when we add all them up, and I'm hoping that my little calculator will catch the light. So 1.5 centimeters plus 4.5 plus 11.5 plus 4.5 and plus 11.5. So our total width of our cardstock needs to be 33.5 centimeters. So we know that we're going to have to split this in half again. So that's where I'll come in and I'll just draw my bolder line, and I'll draw another tab on my template here. Okay, so these two widths are going to be exactly the same now. So the cardstock that we need to cut is going to be 1.5 centimeters, 1.5 plus 4.5 plus 11.5. Okay, so we know that we need to cut 17.5 centimeters by something. Now, our width of our, so if we can imagine our, I think I've got another one here. So it's always handy to make, like to come from one that we've already made. So now we want to measure this way. Okay, so going by that way, now I used a 3 centimeter fold flap on these ones. These can sort of almost be anything you want. I think 3 centimeters will probably be fine as well. So we'll make them 3 centimeters as well. So, well, we know that this is 2.5 centimeters. So 2.5 is our height. That's the height of our block. And then we'll make it 3 centimeters for our flaps. So that's going to be 3 centimeters. And then this width here is actually, see how this one's 7 centimeters, but this one only needs to be 4.5 centimeters. So that whole piece there is 4.5 centimeters. Okay, so I hope I'm not confusing you. So when we look at this piece here, we need to put in, because that 3 centimeters is part of the 4.5 centimeters. So we need to do 3 plus 2.5, whoops, wrong digit. 3 plus 2.5 plus 4.5 centimeters. Okay, so that's 10 centimeters from there to there. So this piece here is going to be 17.5 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Now this piece here needs to be a little bit different. So we know we've got our 2.5 centimeters, and we will do a 3 centimeter flap again. This will be our 4.5 centimeters because it's the same as that one. But then we want to pop a little bit of the lip thing on it. So we'll make that 1.5 centimeters. So then all we have to do is add these up again. So it'll be, oops, it'll be 3 centimeters plus 2.5 plus 4.5. Yep, plus 4.5. Hang on, I gotta start again. 3 plus 2.5 plus 4.5 plus 1.5. So that is, okay, so your 2 pieces of cardstock, your left hand side is going to be 17.5 times 10, and your right hand side is going to be 17.5 times 11.5. Now your score marks, so you're going to score it at 1.5, and then when you add, so 1.5 plus 4.5, there's your next score line there. So, and you'll score it at 6. Exactly the same over here. So at 1.5 and at 6. And is that right? I might be getting myself mixed up here. 4.5. No, I think that should be right. I'm going to make this afterwards and see whether I'm right. And then for this way, we want to score it at 3 centimeters. And then, so 3 centimeters, and then, so that'll give us our first score line, and then plus 2.5 centimeters. So 5.5 centimeters. So that'll give us that score line and that score line, and then we want to only score 3 centimeters, 8.5 to that point there. Okay, and then that'll be the same on this side. So you'll score it at 3, 5.5, 8.5, and then you'll want that little bit of extra, so you'll come in 11, whoops, clear, 11.5, subtract 1.5, and then it should score at 10. Okay, I am going to see if I can make this, and if it fits, I will take a photo and I will post it in on my Facebook page in this thread. Okay, now I'm going to go and play and see whether I got it right. Okay, bye.